Gemini, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to the Unseen Hands Collective. This is going to be your April 2021 tarot shift reading. So we're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. Gemini, this is only the tarot portion of your April shift. We also have an astroscope to loop in the planetary energies for you this month, and then a guidebook to help you more personally move through your own process in April. So make sure you check those out. Link in the description over to our website, unseenhandscollective.com. So Gemini, the energy, the image rather, that's coming to me for you this month, I don't know why I'm getting clocks for you so much lately. Clocks. But this month there is a clock being cleaved in half. And it really reminds me of this idea of splitting time. And I mean, I'm looking at the cards, which I'll show you in a moment, and this reading is just really meta. I mean, it's a much larger conceptual breakthrough that's perhaps happening for some of y'all this month, where you're just smashing any ideas of linear time, or that's being done for you. You know, there's something here about an expansion of consciousness that moves beyond preconceived ideas that exist in linear or binary terms. So let me just show you this. Your shapeshift is looking like the Wheel of Fortune into the Eight of Pentacles, and this is really showing up as the clock for me. You know, this Wheel of Fortune is coming through for a lot of folks this month, and if you check out the April collective reading, perhaps you'll be able to dive deeper into that with me. It's free, okay. But there's a lot of change coming through in April, and the Wheel of Fortune for me is the change of the seasons, or the winds of change coming through. It's a very natural process, but it's often a process that feels resistant to us, creatures of habit. And this reading is certainly busting you out or expanding you beyond any kind of habitual ways of thinking. So here we have this clock, the wheel of time, turning. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So we're trying to expand, I think, your ideas around time and your concepts of existence. I mean, it really is that large, because here's what your three middle cards are here. What your shift looks and feels like. We have the Six of Wands, Two of Cups, Seven of Cups. And the traditional meanings aren't as relevant in this reading. It's more about the progression of the images. So I'm seeing this particular Six of Wands actually as Pallas Athena. And if you know anything about that, the mythology of Pallas, of Athena, she cleaved her way out of her father's head. Out of Zeus's head, and so that feels relevant here since we're cleaving time in half. She was able to liberate herself from a certain mental space with her own ingenious and her warrior spirit, which of course feels like Mars energy in your sign this month. So here we have, to me, I see this as Pallas Athena rushing to cleave time in half, to cleave her way out of a linear or binary experience into a much more expanded experience, because then we have this progression here, here's cleaving it in half to split in two. I mean, this is Gemini energy. This is you recognizing and being able to hold seemingly opposing energies within yourself, perhaps more comfortably than some of the other signs, accepting that you are both and all of these things. And then it's like this reading is like, yes, we know this about you, Gemini. You hold the opposites. You are a sign that is inviting us into exploring polarity, energy, and we know this. Now we bust even further. You know, it's like, okay, great. Now go further, go beyond, push even beyond this binary idea into even more possibilities. The Seven of Cups talks about an expansion of what you can imagine as possible. And then it's like, if you can dream it, you can do it, because then we come down to earth with the Eight of Pentacles and we create more possibilities out of our imagined experience. If we can imagine that more is possible, we can create more possibilities outside of the two. This particular Eight of Coins this month for you is coming through as someone fixing a motherboard. And I want to direct your attention to the Aquarius reading, because your two readings are incredibly connected. A fellow air sign, I highly recommend you check that out, because you're both looking at this like motherboard repair or investigation. And I think it's some really significant energy coming through collectively and very much personally for y'all. So check that out. But it was really jumping out to me that this person looks like they are working on some sort of electronic board, some sort of motherboard or system, operating system. Which again brings me back to this idea that this is very much a mental process. It is a mental expansion beyond the way your brain can currently conceive or currently think. It is a rewiring of sorts. And then I have to say, as I was doing the pre-shuffle for your extended reading for the other decks that we will use, this came out of the Notes to Self deck, and it says about to burst. So this is what this feels like to me. It's like you're about to go from this very uniquely Gemini energy of being able to be two people at once, or being able to be in two places at once. You know, we're talking about splitting time, splitting your time. It's like, yeah, I was born with this ability. I know how to do that. And then it's almost like you're bursting into an even more expanded ability or experience, or it's a fractal. You know, it's like cells dividing and then just popping off into complete multiplicity. Perhaps you're gaining a far more multifaceted understanding of yourself. You know, I'm not just this and this, which is in and of itself an exciting idea to accept. But what if I'm this and this and this and this and this? You know, it's like, what if there is room, Jupiter expansion, making room. What if there's room for all of these multi facets of me? All of the ways that my brain works in divergent and exciting ways. So it's like you're about to burst. The way of, perhaps like a closed circuit way of thinking is about to break into something larger. This also feels tied to the Aries reading, because the Aries reading was showing like a network of nodes lighting up. First it was just two, and then all of a sudden it bursts into many nodes lit up in a network. And again, like network, motherboard, circuitry, all of these very Uranian, technological, Aquarian references, I think, are very important for us collectively right now, and clearly for y'all air signs in Aries season. This is exciting. All right, Gemini, so I'm going to take this into an extended reading now. If this is interesting to you or resonating and you'd like to dive deeper, I imagine that the extended reading where I use other decks to clarify some of these cards will get a bit more personal from this very zoomed out reading. So if you'd like to join me for that, click the link in the description, and that will take you to our website, unseenhandscollective.com, where you can find the extended in the shop and in our monthly membership. And you can get a little preview of what that extended is going to offer you, as well as your shift scope and guidebook if you stick around at the end of this reading. All right, Gemini, thanks for being here. Happy Aries season. Happy Zodiac New Year. Being able to harness the change, Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck. Wow. Being able to harness the change for your own benefit rather than resist it in like stubbornness or in a clinging kind of energy. It's like, let the change show you what else could be possible. That's really how you go with it. That's how you harness it. All right, we'll take that second Wheel of Fortune. Anything else to say for Gemini about this Eight of Coins? Yeah, it's showing you a new experience, a new way. Again, this Fool card has been coming out and for the signs and has been signifying, okay, so if a lot of the cards that are coming through is this like energy of change, and then the Fool, which is a clean slate, a do-over, a new start, a completely new experience, then there is some sort of change being introduced here that is shining a light towards a new path.
Pluto's in your 8th house in Cap. So that's you turning on the lights in that region of your brain. It's like, oh, okay, the lights are on in here, because Pluto's doing the same thing for Scorpio. It's like you've been in this darker portion of your brain doing this particular kind of work. And for you, it's like that's where you're more stable, you know, I want to say like that more mature version of yourself is what I'm trying to say. Because we're dealing with Cap, so this is a more mature version of you that you kind of kept at bay, and you only bring it out periodically because you're afraid it's gonna, like, you've been afraid it's gonna ruin your fun. But actually bringing this other part of you up is the thing that opens your whole world.